Fallout 4 is out tomorrow, and as with any good Bethesda RPG, there are hundreds of ways you can choose to play it, some a little more unorthodox than others. I'm talking killing every single person in the game or choosing to go it alone without the use of guns. In the spirit of that, here are 5 epic and strange ways that you can play your favorite games to give you some inspiration. While Ganon can't be defeated in 1986's The Legend of Zelda without the use of a sword, it is possible to ignore the old man at the start of the game and go it swordless until that point. It may have been dangerous, but evidently it is possible to go alone through the entire game until the Ganon battle without using a sword. If you try this out, expect to become very close with your shield and ranged weapons. A number of people who've attempted this one also did so without using healing items, just in case the whole no sword thing seemed like it'd be way too easy for you. Danny O'Dwyer has recently been taking on Fallout 3 with no armor and no guns. As it happens, Dark Souls is also a game that's bloody hard to play with no clothes or weapons. The Boxer Challenge calls for confident participants to take on all their foes with only their fists. Some people decided to add extra restrictions on top of that, including no pyromancy, no shields, no parrying, and in some cases, no clothes. Dark Souls has also lent itself to a bunch of awesome playthroughs that, while they may feature fairly traditional playstyles, are strange in a whole other way. Gamers have played the brutal action game using controllers that range from Guitar Hero guitars and Rock Band drums to steering wheels and even bongos. The videos are as fascinating as they are absurd. And yes, before you ask, someone has also played Dark Souls with all the game's movement bound to a dance pad. Now this next one is probably the one weird way of playing a game that you've definitely encountered before. While car theft and serial murders are rampant in Grand Theft Auto, you can also decide to play the game as a law-abiding citizen. While GTA 5 is a criminal sandbox, it's also a pretty spot-on simulation of a functioning city, complete with traffic lights, cops, and even laws that you can follow. You know, if you want to. It might not be the most exciting thing to watch, but it is totally doable to simply cruise about the city taking in the sights, obeying traffic laws, and paying shopkeepers for their wares instead of threatening them for the contents of the cash register. Mass Effect is pretty much all guns all the time, but at least one gamer decided to ignore all that and opt for less traditional methods of destruction. Taking on Mass Effect without guns involves using a lot of biotic and tech powers, mines, grenades, and of course, the front bumper of the Mako. It actually works a lot better than you'd expect. John, who took on the challenge on YouTube, also took a number of measures to keep his companions from doing gun damage. Where possible, he selected companions who were untrained in guns. And if there was no other option, he equipped them with guns that they were as untrained in as possible, so they wouldn't be able to do any real damage with them. That said, you can't actually get your characters to put their guns away, so they often just look like they've simply forgotten how to use them. Video games are pretty big on chickens getting revenge. Whether they're exploding in Skyrim or ganging up on you in The Legend of Zelda, this Diablo player took it one step further. Opting for a witch doctor and then spamming Hex to turn yourself into a chicken is basically the foundation of this playthrough. YouTuber Noxious, who took on the challenge, also kitted out his fowl with a finely tuned skill set to enable a shitload of exploding and poison damage. So even on the highest difficulties, he ended up with a very speedy and pretty fearsome badass chicken. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever tried out an unusual playstyle in a game you love and how you're planning to play Fallout 4. I will catch you again next week.